Hi, this is Chloe here at Inner Whispers. I want to talk about a different way of using your pendulum. So far I've talked about how to calibrate your pendulum, and the most obvious and well-known way of using a pendulum is clearly for divination. However, my actual favourite technique for using it is a magical one, and that's using it to supercharge your affirmations if you have an affirmation practice, or developing an affirmation practice to use it with. And how you use the pendulum for that is that once again you calibrate your pendulum, so you ask it or you tell it which way you want it to swing for a yes answer or a no answer, and you check that the two of you are in agreement about that. And then you say your affirmation either in your head or out loud as you watch the pendulum swing, and just let it move as your subconscious wills it. And this is a wonderful technique for supercharging your affirmations. The reason that it works so nicely is that, first of all, just the fact of focusing your gaze on the pendulum, watching it swing, it's like the mesmerism of old where they would use a fob watch or whatever, swinging it back and forth. It creates a light trance state, so it helps you to alter your state of consciousness, which is what you do in magic. And then you are actually communicating with your subconscious or your magical self, younger self as Starhawk calls it, whatever you choose to call that magical part of yourself, however you see that, whether you see it in more scientific terms or more magical terms. It helps you to communicate with that part of yourself. And another beautiful thing here is that it really is an in-the-moment two-way communication, because your rational mind is seeing the swing of the pendulum, and the pendulum is responding to that because it's connected with your unconscious mind. So your unconscious mind can be answering you, telling you what it thinks. And with this, the idea is that you want to have your pendulum swing in a yes answer. And as I say, you calibrate it before you start to decide what that's going to be today between the two of you. And if you say your affirmation and the pendulum is in agreement, then that's great. You just watch the pendulum swing for a couple of minutes, enter that trance, and really feel that message going both to your conscious mind and to your subconscious. Feel it being magically sown within you, that seed of this affirmation is something I believe at every level. If, on the other hand, the pendulum says no to your affirmation, well then, you have a couple of choices. First of all, you can keep going for a while, because just by repeating the affirmation over and over in your head as you watch that pendulum, as you're in that trance, you may help to persuade your subconscious that yes, you really do believe this. So that's option one. Option two is that you can alter your affirmation to make it one that your subconscious will believe in, will get behind. And for example, that might simply be adding in I am starting to, or I am learning to, at the beginning of your affirmation, so that it's not quite as forceful. And if it's something that currently your subconscious doesn't believe, you can say, well, I'm starting to do this, rather than I am doing it, which is like, oh no, you're not. So that's one way of altering it. And another option is to try it for a couple of minutes. If it's really not working out, then you stop. And what you do is you go off and you actually do something in the next 24 hours that is a step in the right direction, that is a way of taking action to show your subconscious, yes, I'm really serious about this. And it doesn't have to be something big. Taking as an example, if you want to eat more healthily and your affirmation is, I eat healthily. Well, your subconscious might not believe that. You even say, I'm learning to eat healthily, or I'm starting to eat healthily. It still doesn't believe you. Well, go off and have one healthy thing to eat. It doesn't mean you have to be absolutely healthy for 24 hours and not have anything, but at least make sure that there is one thing that you eat thinking, this is something that I am eating because I am choosing to eat healthily from now on. So you do that action to show your subconscious that you are serious about this. And the next day you go back and you try with the pendulum again. If it still doesn't believe you, then you've got to take a bit more action. But keep going with it, because this really is a powerful technique for communicating with your subconscious, for getting yourself into a magical mindset, and for supercharging your affirmations. Because I quite often hear people saying, I tried an affirmation practice and it just didn't work. And that's often because there's some level at which we don't believe the affirmation, either because it's too big an affirmation for us at the moment, so that I'm learning to, or just, we're not getting behind it fully. So then, as I say, take some action to prove to yourself that yes, you are serious about this. And then use that pendulum. And it's something which it literally only takes a couple of minutes. You can find 2 minutes every day to do something magical, to reinforce changes that you want to make in your life. That's it for today. I hope you found this helpful, and give it a go. And please do drop by www.innerwhispers.co.uk, as I have lots more magical techniques that I'm going to be sharing. Blessed be.